Yes, everyone. Hello and welcome back to Forever United TV. Welcome along to your evening show this Tuesday, the 19th of August. Manchester United getting busy with the outgoing side of things. We've got massive updates on Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United, as well as updates on academy exits coming up as well for the likes of Harry and Mass. Update on that. Also, Manchester United's hunt for a new midfielder. That news hotted up earlier on today as well. Big update on the goalkeeping side of things, which I don't think you are going to like listening to this one as well, and everything else that is going on at Manchester United, of which there is quite a lot. Meetings happening, Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, staff and coaches meetings. What are Manchester United's plans for the last 2 weeks? How much money are they going to spend? Is it determined by selling players as well? Is this why we're fast forwarding the Garnacho news, which Romano has dropped first of all this evening, saying it is close to a here we go. That's about as close to a here we go as you're going to get. It's what Romano is saying. Other than saying, here we go, and this is done. We are now, of course, we've known for, about 2 weeks, Romano has been saying, talks are advanced. Talks are advanced. Not that bleeding advanced, because nothing's bleeding happened. But again, Romano on Instagram tonight, and everyone is quoted him from Instagram saying that Garnacho are now in the final stages. Contacts between both clubs are getting closer in terms of negotiations on an ideal price. Manchester United want 50 million. There are reports saying that Manchester United would take 40 plus add-ons off Chelsea. Chelsea do not want to pay it, and Chelsea will not pay Manchester United 50 million, says Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian. But then, obviously, Manchester United have come out and said, well, Garnacho is not going to go unless they get their valuation, using the sales of Madueke as an example in terms of Manchester United's the United players' output, Garnacho that is, compared to Madueke. United think that valuation is fair for Garnacho, and they should be getting around 50 million. We'll see. I think somewhere in the middle is always where it happens, and if Romano is saying it's advanced, also bringing in the fact that Omar Barada has an excellent relationship with the hierarchy at Chelsea and negotiations are going smoothly. Well, I say again, negotiations were going on 2 weeks ago by all accounts, and we're still here right now. Garnacho is a United player and he's not kicking a football. It looks like Garnacho's time at Argentina is also over. Out of the squad again. His time, I don't know if he'll ever get time at the club. There's been some sources actually come out and say that Garnacho was given us a specific duty to do, and it wasn't so much a challenge. It seemed like a challenge to him, but he was given instructions to go and run at players in a particular game and didn't, and it didn't go down well. All that from Argentina, don't really care. Doesn't matter to Manchester United. Garnacho will destroy his own career. All we have to think about is him looking half decent and good for the next few days while we get this deal over the line, and then we don't have to think about him ever again or worry about what he's doing with Argentina. He will destroy his own career, that lad. We all know it. But in all of these negotiations and everything that's going on, Romano also dropped the bomb that he has turned down Bayern Munich in the last 48 hours because he's hell-bent on going to Chelsea. This lad, I am telling you right now, is hell-bent on turning back up to Old Trafford and giving it to the Man United fans in hope that he gets the winner against Manchester United. How could you turn down Bayern Munich? How can you pass up that opportunity? This is a massive club compared to what Chelsea are. And yes, Chelsea have won the Champions League. They have won big trophies. I know this, but Chelsea fall into insignificance when comparing them to a club like Bayern Munich. Honestly, the guy is hell-bent on staying in the Premier League. Fair enough. That's where he sees himself. I honestly feel at this point that he's that miffed off, he's that bitter, that he wants to stay in the Premier League and play against Manchester United again. If you're turning down offers from big clubs across Europe, champions of Germany, champions of Italy, you're turning down offers from them clubs to stay in the Premier League with Chelsea. That's where Garnacho is right now. I'm telling you, inside his head, he's thinking of revenge. And I think this is going to destroy his career. He's hell-bent on proving a point. He's not a starter in Chelsea's team, and he's going to have to warm the bench at Stamford Bridge this season. I just don't see how he gets ahead of anybody that's already there right now at Chelsea in them positions. And if he signs Xavi Simons, well, again, further down the pecking order. Although he does tend to play 10, but let's be honest, no one's going to take the place of Cole Palmer, and Simons will obviously be moved either to one of the wings. You've obviously got Gittins in there as well. I'm running out of places already for Garnacho to feature. This is what happened with Jadon Sancho. Obviously, they've not communicated when passing each other at Carrington. Well, they've been training in front of the under-10s, have they, these two? It just shows you, doesn't it? This is what Man United are dealing with right now. But, look, that's his choice. That's fine, as long as United get the deal. But the negotiations for this one are obviously at a stage now where we've got varying reports, like I said just a moment ago, of United standing for the 50 million and taking nothing less, and Chelsea not willing to pay the 50 million. On top of this, though, David Ornstein has just dropped the news as well. Now, we heard earlier on that Bayern Munich have been touching base with Chelsea over a move for Nkunku. That seems to have broken down, which is why they went for Garnacho. But also on Nkunku, as seen as one of the players that needs to go before Garnacho goes in. Ornstein updating us that talks have now advanced with RB Leipzig in taking Christopher Nkunku away from Chelsea, and that could be the trigger for them to go and get Garnacho the other way. So it is working like a bit of a domino effect at the moment. Chelsea are about to sell Nkunku and about to buy Garnacho, and that's how this one is breaking down. So both of these deals now getting updates from big accounts like Romano and Ornstein in saying that they are now moving ever closer to finalising. I think it's all coinciding. And if Romano says that the communications are good and everything is going to plan with United and Chelsea, then we can expect that, here we go, very, very soon from Fabrizio Romano, with Garnacho leaving for Chelsea. I hope it's the case. I really do hope it is the case, because I just want to see the back of him, because then money coming in would obviously give Manchester United the power to go out and buy another midfielder, which we are going to talk about on top of what we said in the midday video as well today regarding Agome from Seville, and all of the updates on that. But yeah, plenty of news coming out this afternoon from several accounts regarding Manchester United and what is actually happening. It has been a busy old afternoon regarding in particular Garnacho, and that Instagram post from Fabrizio Romano saying that Manchester United and Chelsea are edging closer, and on Instagram he said it is very close to a here we go with the eye emoji, and that's looking in again. Social media is ruling the transfer world again. Going off emojis and cryptic clues now is the way that we're guessing as to when transfers are actually going to happen. It's a crazy old world, isn't it? But social media is king, and obviously that's where most people do their business now. But looking at this, I feel like at this moment, United, I said this earlier on, didn't I? Like, I think it's 40 to 45 million, I think, is where this is going to be at, which is obviously enough for Manchester United to go out and buy another midfielder, something a bit less than what we were looking at with Carlos Baleba. But I think Garnacho right now, in standing firm, I mean, again, I still can't believe that he's just turned down Bayern Munich. Obviously, the Bundesliga doesn't have the same appeal as the Premier League, but I can't help but feel that he's just determined to extract revenge on Manchester United. I think this is what's going through. He said he wants to prove himself as a Premier League player and feels like Manchester United have let him down. I honestly feel like that is what's in his head. And, you know, in a way, credit to him for actually wanting to compete and fight for a place at Chelsea, where there's a lot of good players already there that are in these competitions. And he's fighting it out in one of the toughest leagues in the world. So, yeah, credit on that side of things. But I just feel like I think it's short-sighted. I really don't think that he's thinking about his career properly here at the age he is. And he could ruin himself at Chelsea. There's better players than him that have gone to Chelsea and destroyed their careers. We've seen it. Well, not so much destroyed their careers, but gone backwards, let's just say. I think he'll be another one. I do. I just think his attitude is not going to float with Maresca. And they can say what they want in vetting him out, checking into his attitude, checking into his profile and his mentality, and saying that he's all good. Oh, we'll just show us the money then, and then you can deal with him. And if he's all good for you, good luck. But right now with Garnacho, I think it's just a case of let's get it done and then we can stop talking about it. That's all I want to do right now. I don't want to mention the guy's name ever again. He's up there with Jadon Sancho at the moment. Once them two are gone, I can feel a bit easier with the rest of the business that Man United need to do this transfer window. So, yeah, that's where we are at with the likes of Garnacho. We're going to get into the comment section on this. Do you feel like this is finally it? Do you think that this is the moment now? And we are going to be rid of that pain in the ass, which is Garnacho? Are we there yet? Alex says with a super chat, Adam, what's it like being 60? You look good. 60, I don't know about that, mate. I don't know about looking good either. But Lee Cape Down also says, hi Adam and all the beautiful people in the chat. I'll say again, Garnacho needs a good spanking and grounding because he thinks like a stupid 16-year-old teenager. It does feel that way, doesn't it? There's a lot of petulance creeping into the stories around Garnacho at the moment. Kev United, welcome to the members club as well, my friend. Absolutely love that. Madred Free as well. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's get some more comments in. We have a poll running, by the way. How much will United get for Garnacho? 30 to 40 or 40 to 50 million pounds? 40 to 50 is 69% of the vote at the moment, and that's heading up to 1,000 votes so far. Get involved in that poll, please, everybody. Right. Let's see what we've got here. Chelsea not as smart as I thought they were in the transfer market if they are going for Garnacho. That's from Salim. Silverback says, I would stand firm with Chelsea, 40 guaranteed, and then add-ons must get 50 minimum for Garner, even though he's a spoilt little baby. Avalon 5 says, then we have the Croydon boy in Sancho getting a tattoo behind his ear of the vile and nasty sweetie middle name pathetic generation. Yeah, honestly, the old school fans just cannot understand the mentality of some of these young players. It is mind-blowing, isn't it? It really is, some of the stuff that they do and what they think. I think Babs did it best when she said a couple of seasons ago, overpaid, overprivileged, and think they've already made it. That's where they're at. But look, it does feels like it's coming to an end, and that's what we've got to celebrate tonight. We all know what Garnacho is. We know what he's done before. I'm not going to go into it in detail, but all we're talking about here is that this deal is now and does look, when you've got Romano saying what he is saying, when Ornstein saying what he is saying, it looks finally like we have got our first permanent sale of the summer. It's only taken us 2.5 months of the transfer window being open to get one of these absolute numpties out of this football club. It is a job, isn't it? My God, man, it has taken a while, hasn't it? It really has just dragged on. And I think it's drained the life out of a lot of the fan base, actually waiting for this moment to come. The only hope that we've got is that the window is literally closing in less than 2 weeks now. And so, worst case scenario, the talk has to stop at that point anyway. But just to see the back of him. Once Garnacho, Sancho and Rashford, well, Rashford's gone, but once Garnacho and Sancho join Marcus Rashford, I think we can all just breathe a sigh of relief and just move forward with the most important stuff, which, of course, is Manchester United bringing other players in. Now, the news has been pretty frenetic this afternoon, late afternoon, with absolutely loads going on with Manchester United. In fact, there is so many different stories right now. I'm just going to run through quite a few of them because Mike Keegan has been talking a lot about Manchester United right now and what's been going on at the football club. There's been so many different reports today on stuff happening with Manchester United and the fact that Newcastle have contacted Manchester United over the potential signing of Rasmus Højlund, which is a turn up for the books, isn't it? We were told the other day that there wasn't much in the Fulham interest in Rasmus Højlund, but we are hearing that Newcastle did touch base. So let's not forget, we have got the Rasmus Højlund situation to also deal with on top of the bomb squad, and we're expecting that to be finalised as well. United expected to bring in approximately 100 million before this window shuts in sales when they get everything done. And that is obviously then going to be discussed internally. So, on top of Manchester United selling these players, we are also looking at trying to bring a player in. And obviously, we're looking, like we said earlier on today, at a gourmet from Seville, the young midfielder there, the central midfielder at Seville. So, that was a story before, but a decision has to be made within a meeting which apparently is happening at Manchester United, where to discussing how much money Manchester United will spend if indeed they do decide to go back into the market. It is all on the midfielder. all on the midfielder right now. So discussions are continuing between Sir Jim Ratcliffe and obviously the directors and his board as to what Manchester United can do. They do need to sell, though, it would seem. The credit facility is there for a blockbuster signing. I don't think they want to go all in and spend big if they're not going to get their number one target. So Aguirre from Seville is obviously a cheaper option. And the report earlier on, if you didn't see the video, was that Manchester United are readying a bid between 22 and 26 million. Now, Seville want 34. It sounds like a very similar deal to the Patrick Dorgu one from last January, which was the valuation from for Patrick Dorgu was literally 30 plus million. United got it down to 25 and then add-ons on top, which were very difficult to get. I think something similar again for this type of player. But this is only going to happen if discussions go well within internal meetings at Manchester United over whether or not to actually go in for another player in the last knockings of this transfer window. So this again is obviously up in the air and not a definite yet. And I did say this in the midday video that Manchester United have scouted Aguirre, and I'm sorry if I said his name wrong there, but he is a player that Manchester United know has the similar sort of attributes and profile to what Ruben wants in that defensive midfield. Aggressive in a tackle. Obviously, he can read the game well as well. Like I said all of this earlier on, he wins the ball back, his passing is good, and he's a good reader of the football game. And clearly, Ruben is looking for that type of profile. The statistics will tell you that he sort of meets certain criteria of what we were looking at in Carlos Baleba. Nowhere near the same level, which obviously reflects in the price. And Ruben is crying out for a midfielder. And again, according to reports today, has made it very, very clear to the Manchester United board that he wants a midfielder in at Manchester United. He also wants a goalkeeper in at Manchester United. But that might not be coming. More on that in a moment. But United, realistically right now, with Garnacho leaving, that gives them the power to go back into the market and get another midfielder if they want. And that's what that meeting is all about, I'm guessing. But every time one of them Sir Jim meetings actually happens, Manchester United go a bit crazy. And they make things happen. So hopefully, this is just going to push forward another sale for Manchester United. And we can get some business done. And get the player in that Ruben really needs. Because that will just give us that extra little bit of what's necessary for Manchester United to get back up into Europe this season, I feel. The system is all important. And how it's played is even more important. And I think he needs one more player at least for the outfield to operate perfectly, because we were close to absolutely bang on the money against Arsenal in what we did tactically. We just couldn't score and we had a mistake in our goalkeeper. But I think the reassurances of having a bit more depth in that Manchester United squad and on match days being able to turn to different players. Like, for instance, if Aguirre starts the game and then Casemiro comes on or Romano comes on, you see where I'm going. If you're not fully convinced by the likes of Manuel Ugarte, then realistically, you need somebody else in. And you need somebody else in the next 2 weeks, 10 days now. Otherwise, you're going to be caught short. And we cannot be falling short this summer. We can't be falling short this season, because it could really determine whether we get our top targets next summer, like we've already discussed. So, again, from what we said earlier on today, United are actively looking at this deal. He has been scouted, Aguirre, and I feel like right now, from what's been said and what Mike Keegan said and a few others have said today, is that United need to sell players and get them out of the door so we can then reinvest that money back in. United feels safer. Garnacho is pure profit, let's not forget, and goes an awful long way to making Manchester United comfortable this transfer window. 200 million spent on a new strike force, and we have kind of run out of money by the sounds of it. I don't know what happened to the talk of the revolving credit facility, though. Where's that gone? Because we was going to go all in for Carlos Baleba. So you can't kid the fans. Once we know that Baleba was a real potential signing, and let's be honest, even if United lowballed Brighton with a £70 million bid or something stupid, it's 70 million. And there's money there, clearly, isn't there? If they're willing to sanction that deal, then we can definitely buy somebody else. And that's what fans will cling on to from now until the end of this window. And fans will expect There are sensible looking fans on this one as well, though. We're looking at the fact that we need a player that's going to play rather than a potential player. Now, 24, Agome is obviously a player that has got a lot of experience still, travelled around quite a bit. You've got to ask that question. I said it today. Is he better than what we've got in that position already? We don't know. He's in the realms of the Hillmans, the Edison, these types of players coming from abroad into the Premier League. Are they going to cut the mustard? I don't know, is the answer to it. But United feel like, and using the analysis and the data again to figure out what is right at this football club and what they want to do with the transfers, they feel like he is the right type of player. This is why we've been scouting him, and this is why we've been going into detail into trying to find out the conditions to this deal. It looks like Seville want 34, United are at about 25 max at the moment. Let's see what happens with that one going forward. But it is being banked on the sale of Alejandro Garnacho. And it does look like Garnacho is now close. So there is realism and there is truth in all of these reports today. Garnacho leaving and obviously Agome coming into Manchester United because of Garnacho. I think everybody will be expecting something to happen at this point now. Lee Cape Town again with another super chat says, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the head on your shoulders, you ain't, and that ain't amounting to anything. Good riddance, Garnacho. Smiley emoji face on the back of that as well. I think a lot of Man United fans just want the saga over and they want that guy out of the football club. Anthony in the chat says, what happens if we still struggle to score goals with this new strike force, Adam? We dominated Arsenal, but still couldn't find the net. Surely, with the quality we bought, we got to be more potent. Yeah, exactly right, Andrew. And Anthony, sorry. And we will be judging this team in the next few games because Arsenal have one of the best defences in the league, if not Europe, and one of the best goalkeepers in the country and Europe. And that has been proven over the last few years. They've been awesome. And they've got absolutely brilliant midfielders in front. So you're coming up against one of the best there. And it's the first game that all of them have played together competitively. I think judge them by October. We'd expect to see a few more goals, I would say, Anthony, on that. I understand totally what you're saying, mate. And you are right. It is a worry if they don't, because it's a lot of money. I think there's no way that Manchester United don't score more goals this season, no. It's set up perfectly for us, I feel, with this strike force. And I just think reinforcements in midfield are only going to enhance their chances of creating chances, I think, this team. And we will find our straps. We've got too many goals in this team to not score. All of the players in that front line. If you can go back to Ahmad as well. Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha and Bumo, Sesko. There's a lot there. There's a lot there to get excited about. Andrew says, Jonathan, as far as the fan base in the world, there is no bigger than United. Yeah, looks like plenty of conversations going on between the chat there as well. Let's see what else we've got in here as well. Keep your comments coming in, everybody. Dark Muppet Rises says, how many times have we been close to selling these players this window for flip's sake? And what the hell is Guy? What's that, Guy? Go? I'm not sure. We need the here we go now on this one. I can't see us getting over 40 million for Garnacho. It may be below, given his unprofessionalism, not at the Xbox gamer Sancho's level, but still a player who is going to wreck his career for sure. And I'll be there to watch it and see it and laugh and say, we told you so, as many other Manchester United fans will be doing. I don't think there's anybody losing sleep with Garnacho leaving his football club, apart from a few young fans who idolise him. But that's a different level of football supporter, I feel, right now. And I just look at what's happened, and I think that there is several factors with Garnacho. It's not just one thing. It's just been a complete capitulation for him since Ruben walked in. He's just not liked him. He's not been willing to do what he was told, and he's been punished for it, as you would expect any big football club to do. And that, I think, is something that he hasn't experienced at Manchester United in his career before. He's just been given the world, and everybody loves him. He scored the goal of the season, and he thinks he's already made it. That's where he's at. Unfortunately, for him, to come up against a real manager and someone who isn't willing to take that crap. Anthony has just become 21-month member. Massive. Adam, nearly 100,000 subs. Completely deserved, mate. Don't forget, we're giving shirt giveaways at every 1,000 subscribers from this point. So at 98, at 99, and then at 100,000 subscribers, we're doing giveaways. All you've got to do is be subscribed and like the video. That basically is it, and we will be doing them at each 1,000 now from this point forward. So 98 is next, and there will be a shirt giveaway on that day, and then 99 there'll be 3 shirts given away, and 100, 5 given away. Nothing wrong with performance against Arsenal. Hit the post. Keeper made an unbelievable save, and we had a nailed on penalty when Cunha got chopped down. We must have used up all our bad luck. Peter, that was from Brian. Peter says, just take Garnacho out when we play. Teach him it's a man's game, or he is getting pummeled by a United player, isn't there? There's someone who's going to empty him into the stands, surely. I hope it's someone like Casemiro as well. Look, you had all of the experience and guidance there in real professional players. In fact, I think Harry Maguire is going to finish him. I think Slabhead is just going to go in, give him the shoulder. I think Ashley Young on Angel Di Maria style. Remember that one? Bang! Shoulder, down the ramp, into the hoardings. See you later. I think it's that kind of emptying in terms of what's coming Garnacho's way. A healthy tackle, a fair tackle, but a very strong one. One of them. You know the one I'm talking about. We call it the leveller, us defenders. I loved giving them at the start of game. Oh my God. There's a few people. No, you can claim that ball. No, let's just walk a little bit slower, run a little bit slower, just so we can catch up and smack. There you go. Win the ball, take the man out, when really you could have just taken the ball and walked away with it, but you wanted to make a mark. You know the one I'm talking about. London, thank you for gifting that membership, my man. Appreciate that, as always, on every single stream, buddy. Amazing. Les in the chat says, to think he is worth less than 50 million is ludicrous. You are talking personal opinion on Garnacho rather than his actual value. He is worth far more of the sum than the Muppets selling much more. Oh, right. Okay, I get what you're saying now at the end. Sorry, mate, misread that one. But yeah, the Garnacho's value on paper is worth that much. But people know that Manchester United want him out of the football club, and that is your big difference there. That, I feel, is why we can't get what we want for him. And honestly, I wouldn't blame any other club looking at it that way. I really wouldn't. Kev United with a super chat. Thank you, my man. I heard a lot of fans telling that a goal mate is too slow. How true is that? Look, everyone's got an opinion until you put him in a team in the Premier League. I'm sure United, if we do want him, and it's still an if, lots of talk today, but nothing guaranteed, remember that. If we do want him in this side, they would have already scouted him and know exactly what his characteristics are. So I don't know his speed. I'm not going to even try and compare. I think the league is a lot quicker in the Premier League than La Liga anyway. So they know what his job is. And if he is just going to sit in at 6, maybe they feel like he's capable of doing that. There's a lot more attributes, and reading the game is probably quicker than any player's sprint speed for me. If you know how to read the game, you don't need to be fast. There's plenty of players that can live by that as well. Amorim coming out publicly saying he wants Garnacho gone affects the price. Just on that one, Goldstone, Amorim didn't come out publicly and say that he wants Garnacho gone. It was leaked news, which he didn't want leaking, and David Ornstein from The Athletic broke that news. Find yourself another club. United didn't release that. Ruben didn't want that going out. So, again, that, I think, has caused a problem this summer, because all that's happened since then is clubs have just waited and waited and waited, and now we're after hearing from the likes of Ruben Amorim in press conferences on things like this. And, of course, when that was leaked, he was at a disadvantage straight away. He probably thought this is Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he can say what he wants behind closed doors, but no, Garnacho leaked that news. You can 100% guarantee that he leaked that news. Anthony Young says, Garnacho is talented but problematic and childish. 40 months a member, Anthony Young. Wow, what a legend. Smashing that. Keep the likes coming in on the video, everybody, if you're enjoying the updates and all the content. Thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. As soon as we get to 98, it's the giveaway, people. Manchester United replica shirt, retro, or any shirt that you want. We're going to bring in that to you as well. Although we played well against Arsenal, good afternoon. The realist, yep. Okay. All right, moving on. And Manchester United turning offers down for Harry and Mass. That's another bit of news that's come out tonight. Harry and Mass from PSV. United not wanting the permanent offer that PSV actually offered Manchester United. So United again turning down another approach for a player to be sold permanently. Interestingly enough, United feel like they can make more from a Mass with him going out on loan and performing at another football club, which I think is sensible. I don't know what the offer was. I've not seen much news on how much was offered for Harry and Mass. But again, I think United see it as a future more valuable signing for somebody. I don't think Hamas is going to make it at Manchester United. I think the writing's on the wall. I think it was on the wall when Leon came in. Dorgu is there. Ahmad can play. Sorry, not Dalot can play there. Luke Shaw if necessary. He is way down the pecking order. So Hamas was wanted by PSV on a permanent deal, and that has been turned down by Manchester United. So that one, make of what you want, but I just see that as United feeling like his value can go up more if he goes out on loan. We brought you the news earlier on as well about Rasmus Højlund on that and everything happening with Rasmus Højlund. It's really interesting at the moment on Rasmus Højlund and where he is going. There is so much that is coming out on him. I'm just going to read up on a few things here. This is what the Mail Sports Simon Jones said. Newcastle were approached over a possible move for Rasmus Højlund, but have dismissed the idea. The Dane still has interest from Napoli, AC Milan, Fulham and Atalanta as Manchester United weigh up letting him leave on an initial loan. United still want a midfielder, but sales remain priority. Again, another account saying that sales are a priority for Manchester United. On the academy side of things as well, interesting one from Mike Keegan and Nate Salt on this as well. Nate Salt being a big admirer and cover of Manchester United's academy. He's at all of the academy games. Ruben Amorim is taking a keen interest in the progress of JJ Gabriel and being kept updated by staff. I'm going to make a bet. JJ Gabriel makes his Manchester United debut at age 16. He's going to be the next 16-year-old that breaks onto the scene. I'm telling you now. He's already scoring goals regularly for under 18s at the age of 14. I think JJ Gabriel at the age of 16 will break through into Manchester United's starting 11. First team. That's what I'm saying right now. His pathway is miles ahead of itself. Miles ahead. I've never heard of 14-year-olds playing in a under 18s team. Not to the level that he is right now. And he's actually solidified his place in that side. That's 4 years. That's kids that have been 3 years in college going on to university, and this kid is still in high school. That's the level that he is at. He is miles ahead of his time. He's developing. He's starting to fill out a little bit more as well, and could become a real asset for Manchester United. So exciting times ahead for United fans that we could actually see a prospect like this that United have worked hard on behind the scenes in keeping happy with interest from the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona and other big Premier League sides. It's imperative that Manchester United start getting things right in the first team and being able to compete at the highest level, Champions League and for the Premier League, just to make sure that we can keep hold of big talents like JJ Gabriel. But Ruben Amorim keeping an eye on him. Just think back to a 16-year-old Quenda when he came through at Sporting. This is something that Ruben is not afraid to do. If the player is right and the player's time is there, if he's good enough, he's old enough. And do watch out for JJ Gabriel. It's going to be one of them ones. It really is. We could be onto an absolute gem here in JJ Gabriel, and he could be the next superstar to come out of Manchester United. And I mean that. You only have to watch the highlights, watch him in games for the under-18s. They're on MUTV. You will see what we're talking about. He is so far ahead of everyone at under-18 level. Never mind his own age group. But yeah, good to know. And that's come from a big source there in Nate and obviously Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail. And the fact that they're saying that Manchester United are constantly updating Ruben Amorim on him. That, I think, is a big sign of what is coming right now with him. So, yes, that's good news on that side of things. Bad news. Yes, I have got some. Remember this morning we were talking about the goalkeepers. Now, this is where data analysis kind of backfires a little bit. So you make sense out of what I'm about to tell you right now. And this is a report from the Mail Sport again. They're the one leading all of the Man United reports this evening. Manchester United's decision to stick with goalkeepers Onana, Bayindir and Heaton is not just a financial one, but backed by internal data. Oh, I know. It goes on. The club and staff have strong confidence in the trio, supported by various data metrics. Oh, good God. What data metrics are you talking about for Tom Heaton, by the way? Right, tell me. I love Tom. He's the best talker out there. And that is all he does at Manchester United. And he will laugh that off as well. He knows his role at Manchester United. He knows he's never going to bleed in play. What data metrics are you talking about for Tom, first of all? And then tell me what Bayindir is offering you, because he's hardly played. He's not played 10 games yet for Manchester United. What data are you looking at? And if you want to bring up Andre Onana, then let's just bring up the biggest stat of all, which is errors leading to goals at this football club in just 2 years at the club. That, I think, needs to be the main thing. Can he pass? No. Can he kick a ball over the halfway line and hit his target on a consistent basis? No. Is his shot stopping any good? No, it's not. I don't care what data tells you. You only have to look at what's happening on the pitch with goalkeepers. I'm sorry. The save percentages and things like that, I listen to none of it when it comes to goalkeepers. I really do. I look at the simple things that they should be doing. Basics of goalkeeping is getting in the right positions and you will make a lot of saves. And he probably does. Data doesn't tell you everything when it comes to goalkeepers. He could save 8 shots in a game. Remember the game when I think it was about 20 plus shots. Manchester United played Spurs at Wembley in the league. Pogba through ball to Marcus Rashford. That game, David De Gea was lauded by myself as well as one of the best performances we've ever seen. I think he made about 20 saves in the game or something like that. And everyone was like, whoa, look at that. 12 of them were P-rollers into his arms. I'm sorry, data can tell you one thing, but the eye test tells you everything you need to know. I'm having absolutely none of that. Andre Onana, outside Bayindir, Tom Heaton's better than both of them. I still say that, and there's no data on Tom. I just know he's a better character and he can handle the pressure more. Data analysis isn't going to tell you when a player gets nervous or bullied. It's not. It's not. Data analysis works for outfield players. You can look at progressive passes forward, how many times they make a run. Are they confident to take the ball in a certain area of the pitch? The goalkeeper's just got to stop the ball going in the net and pass to a defender. And Andre Onana doesn't do any of that. In fact, the amount of goals that we've conceded because of keeper error just from set pieces alone is ridiculous. And I question it again. The data is lying. If that is the basis of why Manchester United are keeping them 3 goalkeepers at this football club, it's lying to you. There's a flaw in the system. There's a bug. There's something there. It's glitching. Something's not right at United. You need to sack the tech guy or whatever, because that, I'm sorry. You know, listen to professional footballers. A goalkeeper isn't a stat merchant. He's not. A goalkeeper is so much more. It's how much he fills the defence with confidence. It's what he communicates. Is the data telling us exactly how many times Andre Onana is organising his team? Is the data analysis telling you that this man never comes out of his box and sweeps up when a player comes forward? Because I guarantee you something. Every single goalkeeper in the top 4 of this Premier League comes out of his box and sweeps. Ours don't. That's not progressive enough. If Ruben Amorim's system is going to have centre-backs coming into the midfield to cover and help out the midfield because it's so short, because we've got Bruno Fernandes there and we all know how it works. If them defenders are going into midfield and you need a keeper to come out and sweep, none of our goalkeepers are going to do that. You cannot tell me, you will never convince me that anything in data analysis is proving that these 3 goalkeepers will work in a Ruben Amorim system. They're not. And I'm telling you, behind the scenes and in the video earlier on, made a point. Some Argentinian source came out and said that Ruben Amorim wanted Emi Martinez, and they said that the deal was very close, but the board stopped the deal happening. Ruben wants a goalkeeper. He knows. And if the data analysis is right and they can trust these goalkeepers, then why are they not getting new contracts right now? Because Andre Onana's got 1 year left at the end of this season. So try and pull that one over everybody's eyes. Yeah? Not having it one bit. You're not going to convince me. I'm sorry. There's a bit of a rant there in that as well. But you all know how I feel about goalkeepers. Look, I'm a centre-back. I expect my goalkeeper to do a lot. But that news there is telling me that we're not going to buy a goalkeeper. That's put the fear of death in me, honestly. I do believe that Manchester United now are really going to struggle at a certain point. Like, don't get me wrong, I said before, we're going to be better than we were last season. It's a guarantee. We're going to be better. We're already seeing the way we play. The goals that we're going to score are going to counteract a lot of the mistakes at the back, and we will move up the table. We could move up the table so much more if we had another goalkeeper, though. I'm sorry. That's just how I see it, and no Stato is ever going to convince me that Andre Onana or Altay Bayinde are fit to take Manchester United into the top 4, because that's the target that you should be going for. The fact that Samuel Luckers came out the other day and said that Manchester United secretly are talking about making the top 6. Shut up. No. Manchester United need, if that's true, that is, I'm not saying shut up to Luckhurst, but he's just been told this. If that's true, then I'm sorry that United are lost. We need to be aiming for the top 4. Simple as that. The last 2 transfer windows, Manchester United have spent over £400 million on players. We have brought in 8 players under Ineos. No, in fact, we have brought in 10 players under Ineos. That's nearly a whole team. And we brought in players for every single position on that pitch. 10s, strikers, centre-forwards, wing-backs, centre-backs, goalkeepers. Manchester United, no, actually, goalkeeper is the only side. There you go. Goalkeeper is the only player that Ineos haven't bought yet at Manchester United. That's the bit, and that's it. That's where it's all gone wrong. I figured it out. I've talked myself into it there, and I feel like I've figured what the problem is. United haven't bought a goalkeeper yet under Ineos. We're trusting in the crap that was there before. Yeah, that crap that failed us miserably. That's the only position that we haven't reinforced under Ineos so far. Every other position on the pitch, Ineos have made a signing for. Every single position that you can think of. We've actually bought in to Manchester United 2 wing-backs now. We brought in, how many centre-backs? My God, like literally, what can you say? Heaven, De Ligt, Mazraoui. It's not 3 at least. We're looking at 2 midfielders. Manchester United have brought in, obviously, Manuel Ugarte. That was a central midfielder we brought in. We're looking at striker, Benjamin Sesko. You could argue Joshua Zirkzee, but I still don't think he's a striker. Then your number 10s, obviously. Like every single area of the pitch, Ineos have spent money on for Manchester United, apart from goalkeeper. Well, my eyes are my data. You never can get a better judgment than the eye test. The eye test is everything. You know what you're watching, and we all know what the problem is at Manchester United. The data analysis is fine when scouting players and bringing players in. Data analysis for goalkeeping errors and trying to cover that up with that stuff. Not having it at all. Not having it. Right, let's get some more comments in on all of this as well. Goalkeeper eye test. Both Onana and Bayinde fail 100% of the time, and they make the crowd nervous when the ball goes in the box. It shouldn't be that way. Defenders most hate playing with them. Honestly, the word is, like Alex Crook came out from TalkSport, that Andre Onana is going to be back in goal for the Fulham game. It's like we can't wait to get him back. The PR for Manchester United and Andre Onana is exceptional. It really is. They're still trying to convince everybody that this guy is good enough. He's not. And he never will be. But they're going to bring him back in. And do you know what? All of this now, in terms of Manchester United not buying a goalkeeper, the news that's coming out, I'm actually convinced by it a little bit more now that United are not going to buy a goalkeeper. I do think we're going to get a midfielder. I do. And that's good news. It's good news. I think that is going to help Manchester United an awful lot. And we are going to see a lot better brand of football this season. But we're just going to have to accept that we're going to get blunders and mistakes from our goalkeepers. And maybe the defence make mistakes as well because they're not really that confident in the goalkeepers. Look, Baindir, for me, I would put him in ahead of Andre Onana at the moment just because I've seen a lot more progressive passing from him on Sunday. Saying that, the 8-second rule is in, by the way. I guarantee, I said this to Kaz before, I guarantee as soon as Andre Onana comes in, he gets stuck with the ball. He give away Man United an 8-second penalty. Give away a corner, and then the opposition will score from that corner. That's what happened with Andre Onana this season. That guy clings onto the ball way too long. Ball in the keeper's control. It's going to ruin his game. Am I cruel in looking forward to the Chelsea game and hoping Leacher provides another cruciate to butt to a certain Arja? Will it be Leacher that empties Garnacho? Going back to that. In fact, yeah, I've got a little question for you all in the live chats just before we finish. Who would you like to do the leveller on Alejandro Garnacho? Who in our team? Look, he's not going to get injured from it. I don't want the player to be injured. Just to let him know that you made a mistake. You know what it is. It's a fair tackle, but just a very fierce tackle. And send him flying. I don't want him to be injured. I want him to have a great career. I don't want anyone to fail. But I'm already convinced he's going to kill his career anyway, so it's pointless me even saying that. But still, which player would you like to empty Garnacho and give him the leveller? He won't get injured. I'm not wishing injury on him. I want to make that very, very clear. This is what I used to do as a centre-back, just to let them know you're around. You know the kind of thing. Fair and strong. Alicia, the butcher. Lissandro, Slabhead. Slabhead says, so what? Maguire, Delict or Short. Yeah, what? Delict coming into Garnacho, I'd fear for his life. I would. The way that Delict went into ENQUIRIES the other day and bossed him around. Can you imagine him going in on Garnacho? Oh, honestly, it'd be like one of them wrestling scenes, on them slow-mo moments in wrestling, WWE or something, when when a wrestler's flying through the air. That's what it'll be. And the music will come on. Time to say goodbye. And then Garnacho is just flying across the pitch. Oh, I love it. I love it. I don't want him to keep making that clear because people will pick up on me on this one like I want someone's career ending. I don't. I want him to fail at Chelsea, but I want him to fail on the pitch. I don't want him to be out. But yeah, that's what I want to happen anyway. But you know what? I don't even think we need that to happen with Garnacho. I think he's going to ruin himself, that kid. And it's such a shame. And do you know what's more of a shame? The fact that it was a Manchester United Academy graduate. That narks me more than anything. It really does. Carol, who's 20 months a member. Hello, Carol. Dara can be manipulated. Dara. Is that Ghana? Or is that supposed to say Ghana? Or is Dara actually something that I'm missing? It's not in my vocab. Sorry. But cheers and thanks for the renewal, Carol, as well on that. Mazraoui, because he plays on his side of the field. I look at any Manchester United defender right now. Garnacho's not getting past any of them. I think all Man United's defenders are very aggressive. I love our defence right now. I am really confident in Man United's defenders. The fact that we got Leacher to come back and Heaven to come in and Mazraoui all to come in as well. And we've got 4 more centre-backs to start a game different to what we had starting the game against Arsenal. Full of depth. I love it. How the hell did it get to that time? Okay, everyone. We are at the end of the show. All I want you to do is please give the video a like. We'll give you all the updates on everything. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the march to 98. Don't forget, giveaway on 98,000, everybody. And that's what's happening. The poll right now, off the top story, how much will United get for Garnacho? 30 to 40 million or 40 to 50 million? 65% of you have said that we'll get 40 to 50 million for Garnacho. Just under 3,000 votes on that one. Thank you, everybody, again for that. And that finishes the show. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, whatever you're up to. If anything breaks later on, I'll have you covered. But in the meantime, stay tuned. Go watch the other content from earlier on in the day where we was talking about a gourmet from Seville in a bit more detail. And catch up on that. And I'll see you all first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock. Cheers, everyone.